Hey, what's going on, family? This is Scrapbook Boxing. We're going to continue our Museum of the Forgotten Fisticuffs series with the Boston Gob, Jack Sharkey. Let's take a look at his career. Born October 26, 1902, Birmingham, New York. He died August 17, 1994. His nickname was the Boston Gob. He got that name when he was in the Navy. He weighed as a heavyweight, and his record was 38-13-3 with 14 KOs and 1 no decision. His best performances was with Tommy Loughran, who was the light heavyweight champion of the world. KO'd him in 3 rounds. Harry Wills, he won on a disqualification. One of the original murderous rows. Young Stribling, 10-round victory. Light heavyweight champion. Mike Mateague, KO'd him in 12 rounds. He was a light heavyweight champion. Primo Carnera, who he lost the title to. George Godfrey, 10-round victory. Phil Scott, 3rd round KO. Jack Runau defeated him in 10 rounds. Eddie Hoffman, 10-round victory. Max Schmeling twice. He lost a 4-round disqualification. And in the rematch, he defeated him in 15 rounds and became the heavyweight champion of the world. He was inducted into the International Boxing Hall of Fame in 1994. Jack Sharkey moved to Boston as a young man and enlisted in the Navy, where he took up boxing. He delivered the nickname the Gob as a Navy sailorman. He got his actual name from a combination of Tom Sharkey and Jack Dempsey. After more than 2 years on the boxing circuit, made his Madison Square Garden debut in 1926, winning a 10-round decision over Eddie Hoffman. He became a leading heavyweight contender when he beat the dangerous Harry Wills in front of 42,000 fans in Ebbets Field. He faced Jack Dempsey at Yankee Stadium, July 27th, in a fight that attracted approximately 70,000 fans and a gate of 1.6 million, which set a new record for a non-title bout. He was dethroned by Primo Carnera. Let's take a look at his fight record. Jack Sharkey was 6 foot tall. He weighed 196 pounds. 1924, he KO'd in the first round Billy Muldoon. First loss, March 18th. Eddie Record in Boston. but he revenged that loss April 25th in Boston with a 7-round KO. June 23rd, Floyd Johnson in Boston, 10-round victory. Al Roberts in Boston, 10-round victory. July 15th, Homer Smith, 10-round victory. August 20th, Young Jack Johnson knocked him out in 6 rounds. November 5th, Jimmy Malone, Boston, he lost in 10 rounds. 1925, January 8th, Jack DeMave, New York City, 10-round victory. January 20th, Sully Montgomery, Boston, 10-round victory. April 1st, King Solomon, Boston, 10-round victory. June 25th, Bud Gorman, Boston, won on a foul, 2 rounds. September 21st, George Godfrey in Boston, 10-round victory. October 12th, Harry Wells, Brooklyn, won on a foul, 13. December 15th, Homer Smith, Syracuse, New York, 7th round KO. 1927, March 3rd, Mike Mateague, Madison Square Garden, 12-round KO. May 20th, Jim Maloney, Madison Square Garden, 5th round KO. July 21st, Jack Dempsey, Madison Square Garden. He was KO'd in 7th round. That KO was actually due to a low blow. Actually, I think Dempsey hit him after the bell. 1928, January 13th, Tom Heaney, Madison Square Garden, 12-round draw. March 12th, Johnny Risco, Madison Square Garden, 15-round loss. April 30th, Jack Delaney, Madison Square Garden, 1-round KO. June 21st, Leo Gates, St. Louis, 3rd round KO. 1929, September 26th, Tommy Loughran, Madison Square Garden, 3rd round KO. February 27th, Young Stribling, Miami, won on a 10-round victory. 1930, February 28th, Phil Scott, Miami, 3rd round KO. June 12th, Max Schmeling, Madison Square Garden, he lost on a foul, 4 rounds, for a vacant world heavyweight title. This was in that tournament when Gene Tunney relinquished the title after his retirement. 1931, July 22nd, Mickey Walker in Brooklyn, 15-round draw. October 12th, Primo Carnera, Long Island, 15 rounds. 1932, June 21st, Max Schmeling, Long Island, won the heavyweight title. 1933, June 29th, Primo Carnera, Long Island, KO by in 6 rounds. He lost his heavyweight title. September 18th, King Levinsky, Chicago, lost in 10 rounds. September 27th, Tommy Loughran, Philadelphia, lost in 15 rounds. In 1935, November 22nd, Unknown Winston, Boston, 2nd round KO. In 1936, August 18th, Joe Louis, Madison Square Garden. He was knocked out in 3 rounds. Here's Jack Sharkey facing off with Max Schmeling for the heavyweight championship of the world. Jack Sharkey, the Boston Gob, heavyweight champion of the world, was dethroned by Primo Carnera. Let's take a look at Primo Carnera's career. Primo Carnera was born Sequelles, Italy in 1906. Won world heavyweight title against Jack Sharkey in 1933. Lost title to Max Baer in 1934. His last professional fight, a points defeat, 1946. Now, Primo Carnera became a wrestler. This is what a lot of fighters and ex-champions has done. Primo Carnera was like a Jess Willard. He was big for his profession. He was a circus clown. And he was brought over with no skills, designed to gain the heavyweight championship. Many of his fights were fixed fights. He was known to have killed Sammy Scaff in the ring. Max Baer actually did the damage the fight before. Primo Carnera died 29th of June 1967 at the age of 60. Career record of 103 victories, 88 losses, 14 decisions, 1. Carnera was 6 foot 5 inches and 3/4. He weighed 260 pounds. In 1928, he won all his fights. Anytime you see a no contest, usually the opponent didn't cooperate with the agreement. As we talked about with Jess Willard. On December 7th, he lost to young Stribling in Paris. Lost on a foul. But as you can see in 1930, all victories. All opponents took a sleeping pill and woke up with extra bread in their pocket. October 7th, Jim Maloney, Boston, 10-round loss. November 30th, Paulino Escudon, Barcelona, Spain, 10-round victory. 1931, March 5th, Jim Maloney, Miami Beach, 1 in 10 rounds. June 30th, Bud Gorman, Toronto, 1 round. Actually, the 2nd round knockout. October 12th, Jack Sharkey, lost in 15. Ebbets Field, Brooklyn. November 19th, King Levinsky, Chicago, 10-round victory. November 27th, Vittorio Campolo, New York City, 2nd round knockout. 1932. Most notable names: May 30th, Larry Gans in London, England, 10-round loss. August 16th, Stanley Pedrosa, Newark, 10-round loss. All good fighters so far, his losses. September 1st, Art Lasky, St. Paul, 10-round victory. Continued with his KO streak until he got to King Levinsky, December 9th, 10-round loss. Big Boy Peterson, 2nd round KO. 1933, February 10th, Ernie Scaff, Madison Square Garden, 13-round KO. June 29th, Jack Sharkey, Long Island, 6th-round KO for the World Heavyweight Championship. October 22nd, Paulino Escudante, Rome, Italy, won in 15 rounds. Ernie Scaff died. March 1st, Tommy Loughran, Miami, 15-round victory. June 14th, Max Baer, Madison Square Garden. He was KO'd in 11. In that particular fight, both men went down average of 6 times apiece. The majority of the time they went down together. November 24th, Vittorio Campolo, Buenos Aires, 12-round victory. June 25th, Joe Louis, Madison Square Garden, 6th-round knockout. Louis knocked Primo Carnera out in 6 rounds. March 15th, Ray and Pelletier, Madison Square Garden, 9-round KO. Primo Carnera died June 29th, 1967, in Italy. Primo Carnera. Primo Carnera. Next fighter, Max Baer. Max Baer, with a record of 70 fights, 12 losses, 52 KOs. Fought from 1929 to 1941. Held the World Heavyweight Championship from 1934 to 1935 by knocking out Primo Carnera. The Baer Carnera fight, June 14, 1934, Madison Square Garden Bowl, Long Island City, New York. Scheduled 15 rounds. Official attendance, 52,268 people. Official gross, $428,370.17. Official net, $361,334 with 71 cents. Movie portions was 20,000. Radio portions were 25,000. Total net $406,335.71. Baer share, including radio and movies, 9,000. 73,870 with 33 cents. Carnera's share, including radio and movies, 17,000. Now the thing is, Carnera probably only got $10 for that fight after all his expenses. Milk fund, 31,000. Promotion was Madison Square Garden. See, Carnera was taken full advantage of. If you watch the movie The Harder They Fall, that movie was based on Primo Carnera's life. Now Max Baer, on the other hand, was completely different. Part Jewish, part German, but he was very, very intelligent, and he played the role of a clown. He had a brother named Buddy Baer, younger brother. Had a couple of successful financial bouts. Joe Louis and Lou Nova. Buddy Baer went on to act and did real well for himself. Max Baer was in a movie, Fighting the Lady. Born February 11th, 1909, Omaha, Nebraska. Nationality, German Jewish. He weighed 220 pounds. As you can see, consecutive KOs. Max Baer had a murderous right hand. Murderous right hand. August 25th, 1930, he KO'd Frankie Campbell in San Francisco in 5 rounds. Campbell died after the fight. December 19th, Ernie Scaff, New York City, lost in 10 rounds. 1931, Tom Heaney, January 16th, KO'd him in 3 rounds to Madison Square Garden. February 6th, Tom Loughran, Madison Square Garden, 10-round loss. May 5th, Johnny Risco, Cleveland, Ohio, 10-round loss. November 10th, Johnny Risco, San Francisco, 10-round win. 32, January 29th, King Levinsky, Madison Square Garden, 10-round victory. February 22nd, Tom Heaney, New York City, 10-round victory. July 4th, King Levinsky, Reno, Nevada, 20-round victory. August 31st, Ernie Scaff, Chicago, 1 in 10 rounds. September 26th, Tuffy Griffin, Chicago, 7th round knockout. Now, Ernie Scaff suffered cysts in the back of his brain. And when he fought Primo Carnera that next fight, he died due to the injury suffered from Max Baer in 1932. 1933, June 8th, Max Schmeling, KO'd in 10 rounds. 34, Primo Carnera, June 14th, KO'd in 11 rounds for heavyweight championship of the world. December 28th, King Levinsky, Chicago, 2nd round exhibition. And he would continue exhibitions in 1935 until facing James J. BraDDock, Madison Square Garden, June 12th. Lost in 15 rounds and lost the World Heavyweight Championship. September 24th, Joe Louis, Madison Square Garden. He was knocked out viciously with triple left hooks in 4 rounds. Max Baer went on to fight Lou Nova and eventually would retire. Max Baer. Next fighter, Jimmy BraDDock. The Cinderella Man, Jimmy BraDDock. Jimmy BraDDock hit rock bottom during the Depression, but bounced back. The way the Cinderella Man would. When he defeated Corn Griffin, he had his shot with Max Baer. When he defeated Max Baer, he set the terms and conditions and took and demanded 10% of Joe Louis's earnings for the next 10 years. Joe Louis's earnings for the next 10 years. BraDDock estimated earned him an extra $150,000. Louis beat him, KO'd him in 8 rounds, but BraDDock became much richer because of that fight. From Bergen, New Jersey, James J. BraDDock. This is Scrapbook Boxing, the Museum of the Forgotten Fisticuffs series. Salute.